The iPhone 12 was released in October 2020, exactly 3 years ago, and is it still worth buying in 2023? At launch, it was priced at $799 and currently, you can get it for around $350 to $400, which is pretty much half the price. But that's the refurbished one. To get a new one, you have to spend at least $600. I think now it has been discontinued after the launch of the iPhone 15s, but some new versions are still out there. Today, we're going to explore and see whether it's still worth it in 2023, and we'll start with the design. This is one of the best things about this phone. You get a sleek profile, clean lines, a stunning finish, and you can't deny that it's attractive. It has several color variants that all look good, and flat sides which I personally prefer. The only design part that is terrible is the glossy finish at the back, which practically makes it a fingerprint magnet. Aside from the looks, you also get a superior build quality. Despite being a few years old, it retains that premium feel you'd expect from a flagship device. The glass on the display is ceramic shield, which Apple has been using up to date. It's designed to be tougher and more resistant to drops, providing an extra layer of protection for your investment. Plus, the phone has an IP68 rating for dust and water resistance, so it can handle accidental spills or splashes, or you can even take underwater selfies here and there. Just don't submerge it for a really long time. It's really common sense. One potential deal breaker for some people is the lack of a headphone jack, but this shouldn't surprise you unless you're living under a rock. This problem can easily be solved by wireless earbuds, which have become sort of a necessity nowadays, especially if you own any new higher value smartphone. Shifting our focus to the display, while it's good, it's pretty average by today's standards. It sports a 6.1-inch Super Retina OLED screen. With a resolution of 1170 by 2532 pixels, it's sharp, bold, and offers vivid colors that make your content pop. It even supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision, ensuring a visually rich experience when streaming compatible content. But that's pretty much it. The major letdown of this display is the refresh rate. It has the basic 60Hz screen refresh rate. Any other Android phone at this current price has 120Hz, except maybe the Google Pixels, which have 90Hz instead. And sadly, Apple maintains this trend even in this year's iPhone 15s that still have 60Hz. If you're coming from an older iPhone, you'll likely find that the iPhone 12's display to be a significant upgrade. However, if you used any recent Android flagship or mid-range device released in the past few years, you'll feel like this display is a bit of a downgrade in terms of smoothness. Moving on to performance, this is where the iPhone 12 continues to shine even in 2023. Despite being 3 years old, its performance remains top-notch thanks to the powerful Bionic A14 chipset under the hood. When you compare the A14 with processors found in similarly priced Android phones, it still holds its ground. On the lower $350 price point, we have the Dimensity 1080 and clearly, it pales in comparison compared to the Bionic A14. On the higher side, we have the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 and the result is pretty much the same. Both mid-range processors are inferior by a long shot when compared to the Bionic A14, and this is one of the best things about iPhone processors. They age well and deliver consistent performance and efficiency over the long haul. The iPhone 12 comes with only 4GB of RAM and 64, 128 or 256GB of storage. While 4GB may seem tiny in the Android world, it works surprisingly well in an iPhone. iOS generally tends to use smaller amounts of RAM than Android, hence iPhones not needing the excessive massive amount of RAM. Now if you're considering buying the iPhone 12 in 2023, do yourself a favor and avoid the 64GB storage variant. Matter of fact, just don't buy any 64GB phone. In a world where app sizes and media files keep growing, 64GB is simply insufficient. Starting with 128GB version is a wise move, and if you are a heavy user or plan to use the phone for a while, the 256GB option might be worth the investment. And also remember that iPhone storage is not expandable, so spending $350 to buy a 64GB iPhone is pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. All in all, in terms of performance, this phone beats most other phones at that price point easily. Now let's dive into the software side of things. The iPhone 12 initially launched with iOS 14 back in 2020, and it's upgradable to the latest iOS 17. One of the key advantages of owning an iPhone is their longevity in terms of software support. You're guaranteed a minimum of 5 years of updates and sometimes even more. So if you pick up an iPhone 12 today, you can rest assured that you'll receive software updates and security patches until at least 2025. That's a longer support period than even some Android phones released today, making the phone an attractive choice for those who want their device to stand the test of time. You won't have to worry about missing out on the latest features. Next on, we have the cameras, which have always been a strong suit for iPhones. It has 3 cameras, which are all 12 megapixels. A dual camera at the back that includes a main lens and an ultra-wide lens, and a selfie camera which is placed at the notch. Both the rear and selfie cameras can record video at an impressive 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, offering silky smooth and detailed footage. When it comes to photography, the iPhone 12 doesn't disappoint. It captures photos with excellent detail, sharpness and vibrant colors, which still hold up admirably even 3 years later. The addition of night mode ensures that low-light shots are no problem, delivering impressive results. The selfie camera has the usual iPhone 3D scanner for secure Face ID, and it uses the depth information gathered from the scanner to take stunning portrait selfies. However, this phone lacks a telephoto lens unlike fellow flagships, so when you zoom in, you may experience a drop in image quality after a certain point. But for most everyday photography, the phone's camera system is more than capable of delivering outstanding results. In summary, the camera setup on the iPhone 12 is impressive, offering top-notch performance for both photos and videos. If you decide to pick up this phone, you can be confident that you won't miss out on anything in the camera department. This phone comes equipped with a small 28-15 mAh battery capacity, and its battery life is not that good. With moderate or average usage, you can expect it to get you through the day. But if you're a power user who relies heavily on your smartphone throughout the day or plays heavy games, you might find yourself reaching for the charger more often than you'd like. On the charging front, it supports 20-watt wired charging, which again by today's standards is slow. However, it has 15-watt wireless charging, and this brings us to MagSafe. The iPhone 12s were the first iPhones to have it. MagSafe is a magnetic technology from Apple that allows the phones to have reliable wireless charging. But aside from that, you can use it to easily snap on compatible accessories, including wallets, power banks, stands, pop sockets, and more to the back of your iPhone. This is one of the special things that iPhones have and Androids lack, and it adds a layer of convenience and customization. So, should you buy this phone today? Honestly, it depends. If you're coming from any older iPhone, then yes, it's a very valid choice. It will feel like quite a big upgrade in terms of performance, camera quality, and overall experience. And the same goes for you if you're coming from a way older Android phone from 2019 and before. Even if you have a mid-range Android phone from 2021 and earlier, it's still a valid consideration. This phone offers a lot of compelling features, including a top-notch performance, superb cameras, the convenience of MagSafe, a reliable software update cycle, and a sleek design. And these factors make it a solid choice for many users. However, there's another side to the coin. If you're coming from a high-end Android flagship released in 2020 or later, it's better to invest in a more recent iPhone such as the iPhone 13 series or newer, or just stick to Android and get a more recent one. Here's why. It has slower charging speeds as compared to many of its competitors. Its display is underwhelming and falls behind even compared to phones from 2019. For around $350, you'll get the 64GB version of this phone, and there's absolutely no reason to do that, and also, it lacks a telephoto lens. Personally, the above reasons really deter me from liking the phone, but to each his own. I'm pretty sure some people don't care. If you really want a new iPhone and don't have the budget for the iPhone 14s and 15s, go for the iPhone 13. Any of the iPhone 13s except the 13 mini, and you really feel the value of your money, better than the iPhone 12. What other older phones should you talk about? And if you have this phone, what has been your experience? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you like the video, you can subscribe, like, share, and even comment. Thanks for watching. I'm Milan, and I'm signing out.